The Second City is known to many as the leading sketch and improv comedy company in the nation, having played host to comedians such as Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Gilda Radner, Steve Carell, and Tina Fey. Joining the ranks of those legendary artists is my next guest, E.J. Cameron, who is part of the Second City's national touring company. Welcome, E.J.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I was telling you before, I used to work at Second City. I was the president of Second City for 4 years, and some of the best times of my life. So I can't tell you how happy I am to talk to you today.
Oh, that's cool. All right, so you're an insider.
I am an insider.
Okay, cool.
And what I want everybody to know is how you create a show, because a lot of people don't understand how it's done. So talk to me a little bit about and share with them how this holiday show is going to get put together.
All right, right now what we're doing, we're pitching some of our ideas. So what happens, it starts with an idea.
Right.
So everybody comes in, we'll have a pitch day. So if we're doing a holiday show like what we're pitching now, anything that you think is funny or different about the holidays, we'll pitch it. Like I just pitched one about a guy who still doesn't know about Santa, or he still believes in Santa, and he has kids, and his wife is like, babe, it's, and she's trying to break it to him.
Uh-huh.
So we're like playing around with that. Ideas from songs, we'll flip a song, like a classic song, and like find like the weird joke in it. And then we all like bring our material in, and then once we all bring something in, we kind of find a through line. So after a while, we'll find a through line, and maybe that'll create the title of the show or like a theme, so then we write more towards that theme. Like maybe the theme this year is your family makes you miserable on the holidays. Everybody can relate to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go through that, and then after a while, we like test it out and see what works, and then we keep
Where do you test?
On the main stage.
See, I think this is so interesting. What people don't know is one of the secrets to the success of Second City is you are co-creating with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
You try your material out, you see if they like it, if they respond. If they like it, you guys take it back and wordsmith it and tighten it up. And
shine it up a bit more. What works, you push that a little bit more. What didn't work or felt dead, or if it's too long.
Right.
Sometimes you write this scene and you read it and you're like, oh, this is beautiful. And you put it up and you're like, that felt like 20 minutes.
Right? Isn't it funny?
Yeah, me
you
like
sometimes
pat myself
read
on the
beautifully, and then you put it up on its feet and you're like, that is so not funny.
So long. It's smart.
Right.
And we forget that we're all like, man, this is so smart. But sometimes it's keep it simple, stupid, you know?
Right. So you work as an ensemble with your fellow actors in the show.
Yes.
And you are the writers as well as the performers, which I don't think a lot of people realize. I think a lot of times the marketing for these shows say, we take archives out of the Second City and pull the best. And there's some. Yeah. There's some great archival scenes that are done by Tina Fey or Steve Carell or whoever. But the majority of it is written by this new generation.
A lot of times, too, it's just, we'll just do improv sometimes. We always warm up with an improv and we'll perform and do a scene and something will just crack us up and we're like, oh man.
That was it.
Yeah, that's it. Or you'll just have that like, there's something there and you sit there with it and like, I'm a person that every time I go take a shower and I think about a sketch, I'm like, what, that's it, and like run out and have to like write it down. I have this little notebook that I keep by my bedstand that I like wake up at 3 in the morning and like.
Well, they say your best creativity happens when you're in a semi-engaged state, like the shower, driving, running, and then the dots connect. So you probably have a minute to just breathe, think, and the dots connect, and you.
And then you're like, oh, that's it.
That's
like,
it.
When you sit down, you're like, I need to write this scene. You're like,
blank, nothing, crickets.
Yeah.
And that's why improv's nice, because you are building something together.
Yeah, and it feels natural. Sometimes I prefer like just a premise and we'll improvise around that and we'll just kind of like make bullet points.
I like that too.
So we keep the fun and like we can always discover, but you know, writing is great too. I just dread sitting down and like punching out on the keys. But I'm a beat sheet guy. Keep it quick and simple. If we don't know what the game is.
Explain what a beat sheet is to them.
Oh, a beat sheet is so there's typically you have
like
a
the
script.
Bullet points.
Yeah, the bullet points. So let's say in the script I'm like, okay, at the top you're going to enter, you're going to greet and be happy. The second beat, a monster comes in, but you don't see the monster. The third beat, you find out the monster's your mom. And then you know how to get to A, B, C, but you don't need to go A through Z. You just kind of get the general like, this is the idea, let's play with that. And sometimes new things happen. The world's always changing. There's always something new in the news that you can pepper in and throw in.
That's one thing I love about Second City artists, and I admire their commitment to being relevant, their commitment to being current with the news and events, and the audience just eats it up.
Oh yeah, because it's like, oh, I read this in the news today, and you don't even think you're gonna see it, and then like you go that night, and we've already seen it. We've already like figured out jokes or talked about it backstage, and like made all of our jokes. And we're like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if in this scene you said something. Ted Cruz likes nachos, and you're like, oh man, that'd be great. And then the audience, it's a bigger reaction because it's so fresh and so new. They're like, that's the thing that we were looking at today.
Exactly.
And then their heads explode.
How far are you in creating the show that we're going to see here at the MAC?
We're about 2 weeks into the process.
So pretty early.
Yes, very early. We're still pitching and getting things and workshopping right now. Actually, after this, I'm going to go workshop some more. So we're just bringing in our material and figuring it out and whittling down and trimming off the fat of the ideas. Or sometimes some things are just, you're like, oh, I thought this was funny. It's not funny.
And you let it go.
You let it go.
Tell us about, how did you start with Second City?
I started, oh wow. I did the conservatory program. So I had to audition to get in, and that was after like doing a year at IO. I'd like on and off, I took breaks. Then I went to Second City, did conservatory, which is like their like graduate level, like their college of comedy. And then after like the first 2 classes, you re-audition, then you go through 3, 4, 5, then you have like your final show and like your showcase. And then after that, right after I got into Bob Curry, and then while I was doing the Bob Curry Fellowship, I auditioned to get on a cruise ship and do the cruise lines with Norwegian. And I got onto that, and then I came back all fat from the ship. I was like hanging out.
They have good food on those ships.
The best and the worst food. It's all you can eat.
That's true, because you get tired of it.
You get tired of it, and I'm terrible at buffets.
Why?
I should never be at a buffet, because it's all I can eat.
Because you can't stop.
Yeah, I'm just going to push. I'm like, I'm full, but did you see the quiche over there? Did you see the cookies? And then you just keep eating, and you're like, I can
and there's nowhere to go,
yeah,
so you eat.
You just keep eating. Oh, man, you get it. So I did that. I did the cruise ship, and then I came back and understudied for like about a month, and then I got moved into the touring company. And
good for you.
Yeah.
You know what I love is that a lot of people think it's being an overnight success, or like, oh, you were discovered. And I don't think people appreciate how much time it takes to hone your craft as an improviser, because it's not just your sense of humor, it's learning how to integrate with 5 other people's sense of humor at the drop of a hat.
At any moment, and that's the problem. Like, a lot of times people will only want to perform with their friends or people that think like them. And it's like, if you're closing yourself off to like so many different jokes and avenues and opportunities. And it is a grind. It's not an overnight thing. When I moved to Chicago about 5-6 years ago, don't do this. I showed up with like 2 duffel bags and $200, and I was like,
oh, honey.
I'm ready.
Oh, honey.
Right? So it was
5 years later.
5 years later, I'm here, but I did the whole starving artist thing.
Sure you did, honey.
Bopped around to sublets and crashed on couches.
It's hard work.
5 jobs, doing birthday parties for kids and sneaking pizza and cupcakes away in the corner so you can have a meal. You know, it's you do it. And that helps you with your comedy. That's where it comes from.
But you know, Second City is a great home to building community, character, and amazing comedians. So you are in the right place. I think there's no better place, and you are at the precipice of your career. So I wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
And I can't wait to see you here.
I can't wait to perform here. Awesome. We'll throw in something for you. Or maybe we'll bring you up on stage.
I would love it.
All right.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. Thank you so much for coming. The Second City Nutcracking Holiday Revue will be at the MAC on December 9th for 2 fantastic shows. Come by at 6 or 9 for an evening of laugh out loud antics with a holiday twist. For more information, visit atthemac.org or call the box office at 630-942-4000. Come party with the coolest cat in town and kick off December right with the kids. Pete the Cat returns to the MAC on December 1st for 3 shows, 9:45, 11:30 a.m., and 7 p.m. On Saturday, December 2nd, have yourself a very Elton Christmas. Come see Craig Meyer and witness his uncanny ability to sound just like Sir Elton John in a spectacular high-energy musical journey featuring a mix of chart-topping hits and holiday classics. Join us for one of 4 magical performances of the Nutcracker. Hear the New Philharmonic Orchestra as they accompany Von Heidecke Chicago Festival Ballet in one of the season's most honored traditions. Be sure to come early and stop by to see a very special visitor. Santa will be in the MAC lobby before each performance. On December 14th and 19th, see the next screening from National Theater Live. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead stars Daniel Radcliffe in a tragic comedy which puts 2 minor Shakespearean characters in the limelight as they contemplate the plot of Hamlet as it actually unfolds without them.